Hello everyone, this is Charlie Griffiths. I'm one of our senior consultants over at AAG, just on the outskirts of Sheffield. This is the second video we're recording today, which is within our Office 365 series, and this is kind of part 2 of the OneDrive video. As you can see from the screen, I'm already signed into OneDrive. This is just our kind of test environment, so I've got a couple of example documents here, got a couple of folders, and as you can see, I've kind of got a Word document here that was created or modified a few minutes ago by me, and I can see that it's currently not shared. I can view the document directly in the browser, so if I'm using a tablet device or a mobile device, I don't need to have Microsoft Office physically installed on my machine. It will automatically open up in the web view, and I can just simply go back into my files and folders. One of the most common questions asked is about restoring files. Within 365, this is really dead straightforward, so you don't need to go to your IT department to restore a document. Let's say a scenario we've got a spreadsheet or a document that we've been working on. It's perhaps a shared document, and we open it up one day and somebody's made a change. It's become corrupt. There's a problem with it. Ultimately, we want to restore it back to a previous version. In OneDrive, this is dead straightforward. So find the document itself that you want to recover. Next to it, you'll see these kind of 3 little dots that, as you can see above it, says Show Actions. Click on the 3 little dots, and there's an option here that's called Version History. If you click on that, now I can see every single change this document's ever gone through. So right from when the document was first created through to a change that I made 27 minutes ago. So let's say, actually, I want to check through and find the right version that I want to restore back to. Let's go back to the original one. So I can open that up in Word, and there we go. I can see that's version 2, and that's actually the version that I want to go back to. Obviously, just using this as an example to demonstrate. If I want to then restore that back, I can simply click the Restore button, and that will now become my live document. So if I close that down, go back into the latest version of this file, and this should just show version 2. And there we go. So that's a really quick and easy way to restore a file back. Now, there may be a scenario that you want to restore all of your OneDrive files back to a given point in time. An example I can give of this is, say that your computer gets infected with a virus, or you have a ransomware attack. One of the limitations before used to be that you could only restore individual files and folders by going through this version history section. So if you had hundreds or thousands of files and documents in here, you'd have had to, without using a third-party tool, individually go through each file and folder, go through the version history, select the previous version, and restore the file back. Again, one of the advancements they've made in OneDrive at the start of this year is that you've now got an ability that you can roll and restore your entire files and folders back to a given point in time within the last 30 days. To do that, you simply click on the little cog icon up in the top right-hand corner. Down here now, you'll see underneath OneDrive, Restore Your OneDrive. And then quite literally, I can just select a date that I want to restore all of my files back to. So I can hit the little drop-down menu. I can go a week ago, 3 weeks ago, or I can select a custom date. If I pick a custom date, obviously I've only made changes on here today, but effectively I can change this slider back, and the files below will change based on what's been modified in that period of time. So I can actually say, do you know what? I've had a virus on my machine. It's corrupted all my documents. I want to restore everything back as it was kind of yesterday. Select the files down below here that I wish to restore. So I can either select them all, or I can individually just say, there we go, these are the files that I want to restore back. Click on the restore button, and it will just go through and restore all of your selected files and folders back to that given time. Okay, so some other things that we can do in OneDrive as well is, I kind of said before in the first video that this is our kind of personal storage, so I related to things that you would typically save within your documents folder. There'll be occasions that you actually want to share these documents with other people within your organization, or even third parties outside of your organization. Now, if you're sharing with third parties, you do need your system administrator to allow that ability. It can be restricted so that you can selectively share with selected third parties, or you can actually open it up so that you can share with anyone. If you want to share a file and folder, again, we do it with the 3 little dots next to the document itself. And we click on share. And then we type in the name of the person that we want to share it with, to share it with even. So in this case, I'm just going to share it with, let's see if we can find somebody in our test environment, just with this test account here. And then at the top, this is something to be aware of when you share it. So at the moment, what this will do is send an email to AAG IT Services, and it will send a link so that anybody in that organization can view and edit the document. So what that basically means is that person will receive the email. If they forward that email on to somebody else, they will also be able to access and view that document. So it's not necessarily that secure. So you can change that by hitting the little drop-down menu, and then we can say, actually, we want to share it with specific people. So that means that only this user, as long as they're signed in, will be able to view that document. The other options that we've got there are kind of obviously people within AAG or anybody that's already got existing access to that document. But typically, I like to send it to specific people. I like to know who's reading the document and who I've given access to. We've got a tick box here as well that says allow editing, quite obvious really. If I untick that, this user will only get read-only access to that document. So it's quite useful if you want to stop anybody from making changes. But obviously if they do and they mess it up, I kind of showed you before, it's really easy to go and recover the link to that document, which they can click on and modify it. I can also see straight away now that this document is shared. And then I can also see who specifically has access to this document. So I can see that I've got access to it, and obviously AAG IT Services has also got access to this document. Okay, that's it for this video, and there'll be a new video coming out soon. Take care. Goodbye.